always like seeing consistent streaming, having a consistent positive trend. Yeah, I think the thing to note is that it's usually like you go up and then you flatline, and then you go up and you flatline, and like that just kind of happens. That's normal, as long as you still have these little boosts because you do something that people want to check you out for or whatever. I think for me, the thing I care about most is just, do I enjoy the direction my community is going in? Do I enjoy talking to my chat and what people are saying in my chat? Is my Discord stuff going well? Do I feel like the Discord's active and people are hanging out? Like, those are the things for me that I actually use as like KPIs, right? Just because of what I personally value. I think that's a lot more important than other stats going up personally. They're not always one-to-one like money making if that's what you're going for, but I just care more about like, you know, do I enjoy the day-to-day? For me, that's what I look at the most, to be honest. So I do a thing and I keep doing that thing. It's usually because I like the influence that it has on my community specifically. I feel like that it strengthens it and it's good. So Bounce was great. A lot of people came in, and they came in from chats that were friends like Ross, like artists and stuff. And I found that they were very nice, sane people. And I went, wow, this is great. I enjoy these nice, sane people who like to talk about whatever. Yay. They were a good fit. So, you know, that made a lot of sense. There have been other times where I've had a bunch of people come in from a chat and just their vibes are a little like off for this chat. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going to keep doing that thing because I don't think it's good for this this community, you know? Not terrible, but just not what I want to foster. So yeah, that's always what I've like valued the most, to be honest. If I ever become a streamer, I hope I'm able to have the mindset that you do. Yeah, I think it's hard for a lot of people. I think people get so focused on like seeing the line graph go up, and they think that that's like the most important thing to indicate that they're doing well. They get so caught up on how much they're making because they're thinking very hard about, and they should be thinking about it. When can I retire from my normal job and do this full time? When can I do this? When can I do that? And they're so focused on it. But I don't know. I feel like if you're trying to long haul it, I prefer focusing on the other stuff more, the community stuff, to be honest. If you don't want to burn out, you know, all those kinds of things. I think it's hard for people to maintain a healthy mindset because there's so many things around you that tell you that like you shouldn't, but you shouldn't listen to them. They're lying to you. Keep the mental, this shit ain't nothing to me, man. Yeah. That's how I try to do it. I don't know. I mean, I had the advantage of streaming for a long time with a full-time job that paid me just fine. So I was fine, right? I didn't need streaming to work out or anything. It was just like, if I liked it and it did, that's cool. I think a lot of people, I don't blame them for this. It's like a way better prospect than whatever job they're in, you know? So it becomes a little more dire for them. So I think for them, it's a lot harder to maintain, you know, the best mental with it because they're like really hoping it works out so they can escape from whatever horrible job they're in or, you know, whatever situation they're in. So yeah, it's definitely different for different people. I would say privileged. I would use the word privileged in that I had a really nice job that I was bouncing off of, you know. But at the same time, I earned that job and worked toward it. So, you know, this is me reaping the benefits of my work, is being able to do whatever hobbies I want and not worry about anything financial related to it or a success of it because I'm just chilling, you know? So that's just kind of how it was for me, at least. I'm also not someone who was starting streaming when I was like 20. And a lot of people are starting out when they're in college and they don't have, you know, like their life built up yet. So I think for them, it's arguably the hardest because they don't have much of an established worldview yet. They don't have an established career yet, whatever. And then streaming starts to work out a little bit and they're like, oh, and now they have to consider this. And, you know, that's a lot for those people for sure. But I was a bit beyond that by the time I was considering it, you know. For sure. You ever have to take corrective action to fix your community? Oh, for sure. I had a small pocket of people at one point that I felt were definitely going in the wrong direction. And it was a little harsh, but I did a culling. I culled them. I straight up just banned a bunch of people who they didn't really, most of them didn't go out of their way to like break any specific rules or do anything completely horrible. They just, as a group, some people together cannot do things the way they need to be done, you know, or the way they interact breeds certain types of conversations I don't like or whatever. So yeah, I had to just, you know, trim a bit, yeah, for the vibe check. And I felt bad because a lot of them were very nice. But yeah, sometimes you gotta do that. Enablers, yeah, right. Some people, when they're together, like individually, they're fine, but when they're together, they enable. And, you know, if they're all friends and they're talking all the time, you can't really do anything about that. You know? Yeah, I've done that before more than once. Because, like, I don't know. There's just nothing you can do, right? You're like, they're these people and they're hanging out and they're being the way they are. What am I gonna do? Tell them not to be the way they are? You can try. You can be like, hey, these are the vibes here. And if they can't adjust, that's it. You know, you tried. So yeah, they didn't pass the vibe check. It is what it it is. Doesn't mean you hate those people or anything either. It's just like, well, this is what you got to do for the community. Because for me, it doesn't matter how much I like any individuals or any small pockets of people. It's about the whole overarching community, right? That's just it. Even if they're already part of the community. Yeah, exactly. You know, and the community shifts and changes over time, 100%, right? New people come in with different interests, whatever. Things have definitely gone through phases, and the people in the community that have been there since the beginning will have to adapt to that. You know, it can't always remain the same as it was at one point. You know, things are going to adjust. And if something changes and they don't like that and they start like bitching about it, getting shitty about it, I'm sorry, I'm going to remove them. I'm not going to remove the new people that changed their beloved community. I'm going to remove the people that are bitching. You know, like you get what you get and you don't get upset kind of thing. So yeah, I've had to do that a few times. Find that most of the streamers you like have more down-to-earth communities. Me too. And that's why I value that the most, like in my own stuff. Just making sure that like, if I hop into VC in the Discord, I will be comfortable doing that. I will have a good time. That's it. The simple little benchmarks like that are kind of what's most important to me, right? I want to feel like if I go and type in the Discord, there's nothing that emotionally makes me not want to do that. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna have to talk to these people again, you know, or anything like that. Like I want to feel good about it. So yeah, little things like that in my head are like what I care about the most, to be honest.